wartime. It's wartime. Gather the troops, yeah, it's wartime.
The Most High is going to have mercy on you, Black, Hispanics, and Native Americans, if you return back to Him.
He's not before me. It's wartime.
We are God's on this earth. We are God's chosen people.
The block, yeah, it's wartime. Calling all Jews.
Blood in your veins is the same that was in Christ's veins. You say that don't matter?
Time's me, yeah.
It's our job as the watchmen to warn our people. Wake up from the lies that you're in. We must return as the Israelites, because that's who we are.
You are now tuned in to Wartime Radio Show. Hear the word of the Lord, ye children of Israel.
Yeah.
Hey, welcome to Wartime Radio. This is Officer Jonathan. To my left.
Officer Gedaliah.
To my right.
And Officer Aton.
Hey, we're Iuic coming out of Columbia, South Carolina with WPJM 800. Hey, today's topic is going to be a fire topic. It's called fornication. Are you a thought or are you a simp?
But you know, it's a lot of thoughts and simps out there, bro. It's a whole lot of thoughts and simps out there, man.
Yes, and we're going to find out. There's always been thoughts and simps in the nation of Israel. Hey, let's start off with Job 8 and 8.
It's the book of Job, chapter 8, verse 8. For inquire, I pray thee, of the former age, and prepare thyself to the search of their fathers.
Read.
For we are but of yesterday, and know nothing, because our days upon earth are a shadow.
Read.
Shall not they teach thee?
Shall not they what?
Shall not they teach thee?
Read.
And tell thee, and utter words out of their heart?
We're going into this Bible to find out about our forefathers and see if we are the children of our forefathers. And one of the things we must find out is how did we fall as a nation? What brought us down? And like we say, fornication is very rampant throughout a whole community.
Right.
And the one thing about the churches is they tell them to come as they are. They come in as fornicators, they leave as fornicators. And the church has not taught our people that, hey, you're not getting in the kingdom as fornicators. Give me 1 Corinthians 6 and 9.
It's the book of 1 Corinthians, chapter 6, and verse 9. Know ye not that the unrighteous shall not inherit the kingdom of God?
So the unrighteous will not inherit the kingdom of God. The unrighteous is those that are not keeping God's commandments. Read.
Be not deceived.
Read.
Neither fornicators.
Neither what?
Neither fornicators.
Okay, look what's on the first list of sin that's not getting to the kingdom. Fornicators. A fornicator is sexual sin. Hey, having a boyfriend, girlfriend, my man, my side chick, all those things is fornicators. And we know, hey, that's our community right there in a nutshell.
Right. A lot of us came out of this particular lifestyle, and it's something that we, as the black community, Hispanic and Native American community, must take a look at and see where we've fallen short in our ways. Like the scripture that you just read before in Job chapter 8. You don't have to go back to it, but it says, "Teach us, will not the search of our fathers teach us how our fathers used to be, how we used to conduct ourselves, what made us a great people at that time, and why are we in the condition we are today?" So this topic is something that is very, very, very broad in our community, and we gotta really take a look at it and see how we can fix the things that's going on in our communities.
Read. Start from the top again.
It's the book of 1 Corinthians, chapter 6, verse 9. Know ye not that the unrighteous shall not inherit the kingdom of God?
Read.
Be not deceived, neither fornicators,
Read.
nor idolaters, nor adulterers,
Read.
nor effeminate,
Read.
nor abusers of themselves with mankind,
Read.
nor thieves, nor covetous, nor drunkards, nor revilers, nor extortioners shall inherit the kingdom of God.
Now, that's a lot of sin that was there. But we're going to stick with one simple one. Fornicators.
Hey, so we just read that in 1 Corinthians in the New Testament. They ain't getting into the kingdom.
Right.
Also, that would mean the laws are not done away with. You can't sleep with and do what the heck you want to do.
Exactly.
That's what that's saying. That's the New Testament that just came out of, not all back in the old. It's just repeating what was in the old. People don't even understand that.
Right. Most High has never done away with his laws. And the reason why he didn't do away with his laws because our people run wicked. We're a straight wicked society without the laws of God. Hey, let's get SIRACH chapter 9, we'll start at verse 3. We're a very wicked society without his laws, and right now it's being taught to our children. Our mothers are teaching our daughters to be thoughts. They're giving our children, our little 5-6-year-olds are walking around with weeds. Some are walking around with their nails done. These are things that are teaching our little daughters to be harlots.
And some of them are twerking with their baby girls and baby boys in videos.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's a heavy spirit. And then they wonder why when the child gets 10, 11 years old, she's pregnant.
Right.
You taught her these things by your actions when she was a child. When she was 2, 3 years old, she learned to twerk from you.
Read that.
It's the book of SIRACH, chapter 9, the book of Ecclesiasticus, SIRACH, chapter 9, verse 3. Meet not with an harlot, lest thou fall into her snares.
Let's make it simple. Hey, stop hooking up with hoes.
Right.
Hey, you men got to start learning to stop hooking up with
Bring
hoes.
it out.
The deacons, the ushers in the churches, the pastors in the churches.
I remember one of the very first churches I ever went to. The pastor married a stripper. He had a stripper setting up on the stage.
Oh, God.
And he was trying to keep it as his side. He was trying to keep it hidden until he got caught up in the strip club. The pastor.
Dang.
They stopped getting my money immediately. Read that again from the top.
It's the book of SIRACH, chapter 9, verse 3. Meet not with an harlot, lest thou fall into her snares.
Read.
Use not much the company of a woman that is a singer, lest thou be taken with her attempts.
Read.
Gaze not on a maid, that thou fall not by those things that are precious in her.
You know, that's what happens a lot of times at our job. You go there to that job to work, and next thing you know, all you doing is staring at that girl across from you. You can't stop looking. And next thing you know, you done fell into the trap. And a lot of times, that's all it is. A woman don't have to do anything for a man to start lusting.
Right.
But look at how she dressing.
Exactly. Especially in 2021. They don't like... Yesterday, we was out teaching, and the brother asked the sister, is wearing a particular type of dress code, is it women today, what do they wear today that pertain to men? You know what the sister said? She said, nowadays, sisters don't wear nothing. And then she turned around.
She right, though.
Yeah. And then she turned around and said, my husband is a pastor, and dressed like a thought.
Right. You know, I remember when women actually wore underwear. But now, they don't care. They don't care. They be out in the street butt naked fighting.
Right.
That's just crazy.
On their World Star videos.
Right. Hey, continue reading.
Verse 6. Give not thy soul unto harlots.
Give not thy soul unto harlots. You have men that are going to jail, risking their freedom for harlots.
Yeah, to please women.
Right. You know, they killing. I seen a video the other day on World Star Hip Hop where this sister had this man kill this young brother just because he looked at her wrong. He shot her. This is us giving our souls over to harlots.
Say he looked at her wrong.
Looked at her wrong.
Man.
And he shot him. He shot that brother in broad daylight in front of many witnesses, and then went into his pockets after he shot him.
Right. I've actually witnessed that with my own eyes. I had a friend of mine years ago. He had just got out of prison, and was out for about 2 weeks staying with his girlfriend, which is not ethical according to the Bible. That's something that we shouldn't have. But she made a statement to a young man and told him about it. He drove right down the street, shot this man 5 times in the back, and went straight back to prison. And had only been out 2 weeks. That's the type of things that are taking place in our community.
Come on now,
and our brothers are going to jail for the rest of their lives behind the sin of a woman.
Right. Read that from the top.
Give not thy soul unto harlots, that thou lose not thine inheritance.
That thou lose not thy inheritance. You know what our inheritance is? The whole earth.
Right.
We supposed to inherit the whole earth if we come back to the Most High's laws. And we about to give it up by what? Joining to harlots, joining to whores, thoughts, simps. We're going to throw away everything that the Most High promised to us just because we want to get with these hoes because they dress good.
Because they dress what is pleasing to their eyes.
Right.
You know, that's what it is.
Right.
Let me know. You still reading on that some more?
No, go ahead.
Okay, hey, let's go back to 1 Corinthians 6. Go back to 1 Corinthians 6 and go to verse 15. We're gonna read 15 down a little bit.
Book of 1 Corinthians chapter 6 and verse 15. Says, know ye not that your bodies are the members of Christ?
Because like you were saying, you in the first church you went to, you had a pastor sitting there sleeping with strippers.
Right.
Married them. That's what our people looking for, that kind of stuff. Instead of that modest sister. Read on.
Shall I then take the members of Christ and make them the members of an harlot?
So it's saying that, look, your body belongs to Christ. But instead, you will mess around and take your body and join it to a prostitute. And most of our sisters on that's listening in, they'll say, well, I'm not a prostitute. We're going to prove that you are. And when it says you're harlot, it's talking about the people of our sisters that are out here living this lifestyle, going rod to rod, man to man. That's what it's talking about. Just because you ain't necessarily getting the cash put flat out in your hand, you ain't doing it unless they taking you to out to eat abominations, Red Lobster, then you give it up to them. Right. You feel obligated. You operating like a harlot. But this says you can't do that. Read on.
God forbid.
So you're not supposed to give your bodies to harlots. Read on.
What? Know ye not that he which is joined to an harlot is one body?
And that's what that pastor did.
Right.
Then he take on all the sins. Then you wonder why you sick. Wonder why you sitting up here with all these diseases that come with sleeping with harlots.
Right.
Read on.
For two saith he shall be one flesh.
Read.
But he that is joined unto the Lord is one spirit.
And that's who we're supposed to be joined with. So let's see what he say. How we do that. Read.
Flee fornication.
Flee fornication. Stop sleeping around.
No more hoeing.
No more hoeing.
No more thotting.
No more thotting.
No more thotting. Read.
That's right.
Every sin that a man doeth is without the body.
You doing these things on your own. You making this decision to do it. You made the decision. He had a sister send what the bishop and them post yesterday.
Oh,
a sister talking about our sisters wishing they could choose their baby father. How does that even come
How do you think of that? How does your brain comprehend thinking, saying something like that?
Come on now, dog.
I wish we could choose our baby's fathers.
For one, she already messed up. Talking about you can choose your baby daddy. So you mean to tell me you don't want a husband? None of that. You want to stay single. So you already jacked up. But then to say you didn't choose to open your legs to him is absolutely nuts.
Made the choice right then.
I hate that saying. That's my baby daddy.
Me too. But you got to say it like that because it's derogatory.
Well, let me tell you about yesterday again. There was a so-called white man. We say white because there's no such thing as white or black men. So we call it like it is. So the brother was talking to this Caucasian man, and he asked the Caucasian man, he said, when you hear the term baby mama or baby daddy, who are the first people you think about? And the man said, a Mexican or somebody black of the black race.
Right.
Now that is bad.
Dang.
We gotta come out of baby mama, baby daddy, and become husbands and wives to our people.
Right.
That is what we must do. That is what's commanded by the Most High God.
Man,
That's right.
Let's prove that. Give me Hebrews 13:4.
Let's get it.
Let's go finish that thing.
Oh, you got.
Yeah, just the end of that.
Yeah. Finish
Hey,
it.
finish that out.
Yeah, finish that real quick.
The book of 1 Corinthians chapter 6 verse 18.
Uh-huh.
Flee fornication. Every sin that a man doeth is without the body.
Read on.
But he that committeth fornication sinneth against his own body.
You literally do your own self a disservice. You are literally putting yourself in harm's way every single time.
You tell me you killing yourself?
Killing yourself.
Because the wages of sin is what?
Death.
No wonder why HIV and AIDS and all of these things are rampant in our community. Why we're the highest community with the highest, why we're the only community with the highest rate of STDs running around here.
Right.
Fornication.
Hey, go to Hebrews 13:4. Because like we said, we hate the term baby daddy, baby mama. We got to become more kings, more like princesses on this earth. We got to come back to our raw state. And the first thing that we must do is fix our family. Fix our family. We must take control of our homes. We must take control of the lust that's in us.
Look, our people glorify that term, baby mama, baby daddy. When
Right.
we say it, it's supposed to be derogatory that's what you are.
Right.
That's right.
It's supposed to be disrespectful for somebody to call you that. But instead, our people, that's what we actually look for.
Right. Read.
The Book of Hebrews, chapter 13, verse 4. Marriage is honorable in all.
You tell me that marriage is honorable to the Most High God? Not that it's old-fashioned, people don't marry no more. But that's honorable to the Most High. We got to realize that, hey, being married, having one wife is honorable to the Most High God. That's what he wants.
So you telling me that Sister Mary and Brother John that just met in the church, they can't be girlfriend and boyfriend? Like they can't?
Oh no.
Oh, they shouldn't be dating and going out with each other and stuff like that?
Oh no.
Oh, that ain't in the Bible?
No.
You hear that, Mr. John?
You better
Sister Mary?
shut your black Christian mouth.
We got to come up out of that.
Hey, Reed.
Marriage is honorable in all, and the bed undefiled.
So whatever a husband and wife do, that's their business, as long as it's lawful. Read.
But whoremongers.
But who?
Whoremongers. And adulterers. God will judge.
God will judge. I thought, hey, when they say can't nobody judge me but God, they don't want that judgment.
No.
It falls back to what you just said. That's in the New Testament?
Right. That's the New Testament.
So read the bottom of that precept again.
But whoremongers and adulterers, God will judge.
Well, where did that come from? Get that in Exodus 20 and 14. Where did that come from? Because you'll say, well, that's the old law. That was we don't have to do the old law. We just read Hebrews out of the New Testament where it says adulterers, God will judge. But whoremongers and adulterers, God will judge. The brother is going over a minute ago how marriage is honorable. We got to bring this back to our community and come out of the fornication. Read that in Exodus real quick.
It's the book of Exodus, chapter 20 and verse 14. Thou shalt not commit adultery.
So you mean to tell me this adultery is the same adultery being spoken of in Hebrews 13 and 4? Oh, okay.
Right. Hey, that's a heavy scripture. We got to understand there's plenty of adulteries running around here in our community. Hey, even when someone tell you they married, you know what they'll say? But I got a work husband.
Exactly.
Dang.
They
they do say that.
Right. I've heard that a few times.
They got a work husband.
Man.
Come on now, dog. Come on, man.
As a husband myself, I'm sitting there like, oh, I'm so glad my wife is in the truth.
Right.
Because I'm looking at all these women at my job that say they married and they hugging, going out to lunches with
sugar
other
daddy.
men.
That's the sugar daddy.
Right. That's that simp. That's that simp. Hey, give me SIRACH 23 and 17. That's that simp. He said, whoremongers and adulterers God will judge. And why he's going to judge them? Because that whoremonger and adulterer, they love their sin they in. Read.
It's the book of SIRACH, chapter 23, verse 17.
Read.
All bread is sweet to a whoremonger.
It's sweet. They love the taste of it. They love that taste. They can't have enough. You know what I'm saying? It's like that sweet tooth, you know, when you be craving. That's that whoremonger. He craved to be a hoe.
Exactly.
He can't stop himself.
Woman after woman. He see one, he gotta have that one. Gotta have the next
or
one.
the woman that goes man to man.
Right.
Look, women, just so you know, this is written in masculine form, but this is about you too.
Oh yeah, it's going both ways.
The sword is swinging both ways.
Was that all on that verse? Read it again from the top.
All bread is sweet to a whoremonger. He will not leave off till he die.
Until he what?
Till he die.
Until he die. Hey,
Go ahead.
A man that breaketh wedlock, saying thus in his heart.
A man that does what?
Breaketh wedlock.
What is wedlock?
hey, that's a good marriage.
Oh, man that breaketh wedlock. Go ahead.
Who seeth me?
He says what?
Who seeth me?
That's what they saying at the job.
That's what your pastor was saying in the church.
Right.
Don't nobody see me. I'm hiding. I'm good. I'm hiding real good.
Hey, this is a true story. This happened about a month ago. Maintenance man, making about $30-something an hour, is out on the dock.
Damn, maintenance man make $30 an hour?
With another man getting it in on the dock.
What?
Getting it in on the dock.
What?
Got caught red-handed
Bro,
with
what
the
are you
pants
talking
down.
about, man?
And now, can you imagine him having to go home and tell his wife he done lost that $30-something hour paying job? And why he got fired?
For messing with another man on the dock.
Like, you know what he said? Who seeth me?
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know what to say right now.
He said, who seeth
Distraught.
me?
Yeah, right.
Read that from the top again.
A man that breaketh wedlock, saying thus in his heart. Who seeth me?
That's what he said. Who seeth me? Ain't nobody gonna see me. And boom, Their sister walked right out of them, caught them.
She probably screamed, ah! They didn't, because you know that ain't right. Homosexuality is not right.
It's fornication. It's fornication. Just so y'all know.
All right. She probably screamed soon as she seen, ah!
Hey, finish that verse out.
Who seeth me? I am compassed about with darkness. The walls cover me. And
hold on. That's the phrase come out at night right there?
Exactly.
That's what that's saying?
Right. Hey, I'm glad you ain't let that run by you.
Hey, the freaks was out. The freaks was out. Read.
The walls cover me, and nobody seeth me.
Ain't nobody gonna see us, man. We all right. Ain't nobody gonna come out here. It's about 12 o'clock midnight. Ain't nobody coming out here this dark.
You hear that, Deacon? Deacon that's running to the whole house, grabbing up, going to the nearest corner, grabbing up the holes off the street. You hear that? Don't think the Most High don't see you, because you're the one that's saying, "Who seeth me?" Because you run out at night. Bruh. Read on.
What need I to fear?
Hey, don't even worry about it, man. We good. Read.
The Most High will not remember my sins.
Boom. Judgment came immediately.
And you know, that brings to mind the pastor, I forget, we watched the video, it was some months back, but we watched the video of the pastor that got caught up in the hotel room with the prostitute. She was a cop, and she lured him in, and they all busted into the room after he got in there. She got his clothes off. They about to pay her. Then all the rest of the police force busted into the room. That's how these women are getting you. You pastors that are hiding, you deacons that are hiding behind your title, caught up. And it's out there. It's out there. What we have to do is come back to keeping God's laws and teaching our people the righteousness of being married and coming out of fornication, man. That's what we got to do.
Now, look, this is about people who sitting there thinking they hiding in their sins. Read the next verse.
Such a man only feareth the eyes of men.
That's all they worried about. They just only worried about if only men sin.
Yeah, they don't want to get caught.
Right. Read.
And knoweth not that the eyes of the Lord are 10,000 times brighter than the sun.
Ooh. He see all things.
And you know what? Just to clear something up, they might be saying, "Well, where you reading that at?" That ain't in my Bible. It's in the Apocrypha in the 1611 version of the King James Bible.
Get that.
You need to get that. You can go on Amazon, or in fact, you can go to originalroyalty.com and purchase you an Apocrypha, which is a part of the Bible that was taken out by the Protestant church, so that you can get the wisdom that is in the Apocrypha.
Hey, don't go see your weed man. Take that $20 and go buy your King James 1611 version of the
don't
Bible.
go pick up a thought or a cent.
Right. Save that money and invest it in the Lord.
Right.
Read.
Beholding all the ways of men.
Oh.
And considering the most secret parts.
And you cannot hide from the Most High. If you in the midst of your sin, it will be found out.
That's right.
It will be found out.
Right.
So hey, we got to understand that we got to do better. We as men, we as women, we have to do better. Message. Hey, give me 1 Corinthians 10 and 8. We got to, we got to do better, because this is life and death. When we say it's a war on our people, this is wartime radio. Understand something. Hey, your enemies have set you up to commit these crimes.
Exactly.
They set it up because why? They put out a doctrine in all these churches that you ain't got to keep God's laws. And that's the one thing that all these churches have in common. They are teaching a false Christ. They're teaching that the laws of God are done away with. And guess what? It brought us to what? Fornication. Hey, this is the number one destroyer that's destroying our people's family life.
Right.
This is why our children are growing up fatherless, motherless. This is the reason why they're going to jails, because there's no family structure. Read.
The book of 1 Corinthians chapter 10 and verse 8. Neither let us commit fornication, as some of them committed, and fell in one day 23,000.
That's 23,000. Read.
Neither let us tempt Christ.
Neither let us do what?
Let us tempt Christ.
Christ know my heart. Christ know my heart. I don't care what y'all say. He know I love him.
But,
he say, hey.
But that don't give you a reason to, that doesn't mean you have permission to sin.
Brother, but look, everybody sin. Ain't that what we say? Everybody sin.
Everybody commits sin.
You can't judge me. God know my heart. Hey, let's get Mark 7 and 21. Because you know what? They think they're doing right. Hey, That's my girl. You know what I'm saying? I ain't running these streets. I'm just taking care of her and the kids.
And the 4 kids that ain't his.
Right. You know, hey, I'm a good dude. Read.
It's the book of Mark, chapter 7, verse 21.
Uh-huh.
For from within, out of the heart of men, proceed evil thoughts.
What? Not good thoughts?
Proceed evil thoughts.
I thought my heart was good.
Proceed evil thoughts.
Read.
Adulteries. Fornications.
What? I'm fornicating.
Yeah, they thought about it.
Uh-huh.
People act like, oh, like that sister, like somebody just went between her legs and it just happened. No, sis. You chose who you wanted to sleep with. And you opened your legs. You can't even say nothing else. I don't even know what else to say about it.
God started off right there with what? Sexual sin.
Right, and you notice there are many scriptures in the Bible that all start with adultery or fornication, because that's the first biggest sin committed in the Garden of Eden. In the Garden of Eden, that's one of the biggest ones. But this is the second one today that we read that the first thing that's mentioned is adultery and fornicators. Come on, man.
You know, it's a fact that 70% of all black couples end up divorced. End up divorced because of why? Adultery, fornication.
Right.
These are the things that are happening in our people. This is what's happening in our life. You got the story on that? Because, hey, we need to bring that out. These facts that our people don't know what's going on.
Right, and we have to take account. When we hear these things and we know that it rings true in our community, we have to take account for what is going on in our community. We cannot wait for somebody else to fix the things going on in our community, because we see the problem. We see single-parent households. We see our brothers and sisters standing on the street corners, sisters whoring themselves out. These are things that are seen to us.
Right.
And we have to come back and start recognizing these things and communicating to each other to fix them. What you about to say?
And we teaching our sons and daughters these things. We tell them, hey, there's plenty of fish out there in the sea. Take your time. We teaching them to fornicate.
Right. Coming up as a young kid, your uncle be like, "Hey boy, how many girlfriends you got? You got a girlfriend yet?"
Look,
You ready,
now,
officer?
look,
You
now
got
they doing
that?
that with the girls.
Right. It's just it's something that we gotta fix. We have to fix this. Hey, real quick, let me get Galatians 5 real quick. Get Galatians 5 for me real quick. And start at verse, let's see, Galatians 5. Start at verse 19, if you will. Galatians 5 and 19.
This is the book of Galatians, chapter 5 and verse 19. Now the works of the flesh are manifest.
The works of what?
Of the flesh are manifest.
So we've been talking about this sexual sins, fornication that we've been talking about. Here we are. We're gonna go into a different scripture in the Bible, and here is talking about the works of the flesh. Read it from the top again.
The book of Galatians, chapter 5, verse 19. Now the works of the flesh are manifest.
These are the works of the flesh. Come on.
Which are these?
Come on.
Adultery.
So another scripture that is pointing out adultery. The first sin that is mentioning here again is what?
Adultery.
Then what?
Fornication.
Adultery and fornication. Come on.
Uncleanness.
Uncleanness.
Lasciviousness.
Sexual sins. This is what we are talking about. Sexual sin. And this is going on in our churches. It's going on in our community, and we must come out of these sexual sins.
Israel been some straight up freaks.
Right.
Hey, this is what we learned about our forefathers, and this is what the children of the forefathers have been doing. We've been sexual freaks.
Now, we've always been that's why God told us, be fruitful and multiply.
Right.
But you got to get married. You got to
do it according to the law.
Exactly. Right. Not just go out and make a whole bunch of babies.
Right.
The hell is this?
I got 5 baby daddies.
People will say that. You ever had a brother? I've actually had a brother say that at camp before.
Yeah.
He literally going over the fact that he's in whoredom, and then he say, "Well, the Lord told me to be fruitful and multiply." You got to be kidding me.
No, he was dead serious.
I know he was.
He was dead serious.
But I couldn't believe it. And you looking at him like, you serious?
Yeah, you got the information on marriage. Just read that.
This is an article. It says, Black teenage pregnancy stereotypes, or are they? We're going to start at the second paragraph and read down. says, in fairness, the teen pregnancy debate has raged in minority communities for decades. The numbers have ebbed and flowed for generations. At the core of the debate is one unmistakable fact. People really don't have to get pregnant. Out of wedlock births really are a matter of choice, a lack of foresight, and sheer irresponsibility. Fight the stereotypes as we might, being sexually active and getting pregnant really are two totally different issues. Worse still is our inability to speak frankly about young men who exhibit no sense of commitment or responsibility in sharing in the care and support of the child they help to create.
Hey, you know the one reason why there's that young man isn't taught that? Because their father probably locked up in jail on child support.
That now, and also when you listen to the article, the only thing that's wrong with what they're stating is that getting pregnant and being sexually active is separate, not according to God.
Right.
They go together. The only way you're supposed to be having sex is if you're married.
Right.
Period. But this society has separated these things out. But we're gonna use this article to show y'all some stats right fast.
Continue.
Can anyone blame outsiders from looking astounded and disgusted at such behavior? Statistically, the numbers of children born to young African American and Latino mothers, albeit down from a decade prior, should horrify us. In communities rife with violence, poverty, and educational deprivation, sexually irresponsible behavior portends a perpetuation of powerlessness and dependence among our people. For children born from unplanned and often unwanted pregnancies, poverty, limited access to an adequate education, and a propensity for repeating the same cycle as often the result. According to one source, 48% of non-Hispanic black women get pregnant before age 20.
Dang. So that's during their 50.
Yeah.
So you mean when you every time you see two black sisters, so-called black, because they're the Israelites,
right?
But they need to repent. So you get two black sisters, one of them shall be pregnant before she's 20.
Already got a child. Life is already over. She hadn't even begun to live a life.
Right.
And she already taking care of her life.
And that's another saying in the black community where we got babies raising babies.
Right.
Read on in that article.
Of this group, 97%.
How much?
97%.
Come on, man.
Are unmarried and have little recognizable means of financial or emotional support.
At 97%. 97% are unmarried.
So
go back to Hebrews 13 and 4. Go back to that.
What I see it on your lips. Go ahead and say it, bro.
So, because I like math a little bit.
I can tell.
So you got 50%. So you literally take 100 people, take 50% of them, right? Then that said 97 of the 50%. So you mean about 49 out of that 50 sisters have no way to take care of their baby, depended on our oppressor to take care of that child, and they're going to have to put that baby father, look, and that should be derogatory to you. And I keep saying that because I hate that term. So then you have to put them on child support. Now they going to jail, and now they father, and now the child that mother's raising is finna do everything all over again because they have no structure.
Thus, you have the destruction of the black community.
Yeah, I got a script to go along with that real quick. Yeah, go finish that. And I got a script to go with it.
It says less than 23% of fathers remain in the lives of the child or offer any financial assistance.
Hold up. Wait, read that again.
It says less than 23% of the fathers remain in the lives of the child or offer any financial assistance.
Less than 23% of the fathers are in the house?
77% is gone.
In jail, dead or in jail.
Dipped.
This is fornication. This is what fornication has done to our community. Read on.
Sadly, more than a quarter of the teen mothers will be pregnant again less than 2 years after giving birth the first time.
So they ain't learned from the first one. They gonna repeat the mess.
No.
Is that the end on that? Is it? Hey, let's get Leviticus 19 and 29.
Come on, man.
Hey, these were some deep facts.
Dang.
I'm astounded right now.
That's what I'm saying.
And astounded. Our people, you're gonna hear this message and then you're gonna ignore it. But there is a judgment for this stuff, man. There is a heavy judgment for what is going on in our communities, and there's a judgment for every individual that is participating in these acts that do not want to fix themselves according to God's commandments.
It's the book of Leviticus, chapter 19, verse 29. Do not prostitute thy daughter to cause her to be a whore.
It said, do not prostitute your daughter. How do we prostitute our daughters? Our communities will sit up here and sign our daughters up and have them run around in a parade with no clothes on, sitting here twerking and dancing in a darn a Martin Luther King parade, you know, and then they'll mess around a child out there in underwear, shaking their tail at 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 years old. Then you wonder why when they come 12, 13, they got a baby and then they want to abort the child, or they got no support, no emotion. You know why they ain't got no emotional support? Because it said emotional in there too.
Right, it did.
Where's the parents at?
They did the same thing, so they're going through the same struggles.
Repeating everything, but the parents think it's cute. They say, oh man, that's so cute. No, stuff ain't cute for our community. That stuff is causing us to be dead. Read on.
Do not prostitute thy daughter to cause her to be a whore.
Why?
Lest the land fall to whoredom.
The whole nation.
Right. And that is what has happened. Our community has fallen to whoredom.
97% of the 50. There you go. Read.
Lest the land fall to whoredom and the land become full of wickedness.
Now you got the children that are oppressing us now.
Black on black crime. Brothers killing brothers for no reason. Because he stepped on my shoe.
Hey, this Bible is real. Give me Deuteronomy 28 and 37. This Bible is real.
It's a living book, man.
Right. And it says the whole land will become full of wickedness. And if the whole land become full of wickedness, what about the thoughts? What about the simps? Think about those terms right now that's been associated with our people.
Yeah, I mean, you call yourselves these thoughts and simps. So we're going to call you what you call yourself.
Yeah, you glorified in songs. Read it.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 37. And thou shalt become an astonishment.
Hey, those stats are astonishment.
Man, you ain't lying.
We are a living astonishment right now. Read.
A proverb.
Hey, what?
A proverb.
Hey.
A thought.
A thought.
That's a proverb.
Hey, read.
And a byword.
Hey, what?
And a byword.
Hey, thoughts and simps are bywords. You know, hey, hoes, these are terms that, hey, right now that we take pride in. Look at the videos that just came out by Megan Thee Stallion and what's the other singer name?
Cardi B.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. I couldn't even remember their name.
I don't keep up with that.
I had to guess. You see how we all got quiet for a minute? I had to think about it.
But think about that. She had what, #1 song of the year?
Talking about what is it? The WAP joint?
The WAP.
How it can't get no more fornication than that. Bragging about what you got to the whole world. And then she married.
And then you got parents. Yeah, she married. And you got parents riding around with their little babies, their little baby girls in the car, bouncing to the music. And dancing to the music.
And then you see them in parades dancing with no clothes on, cheerleaders. All kind of stuff. Look,
she got the #1 song of the year, but she don't even allow her own child to hear it.
Right.
But she wants your children to hear it. Your children to play it. Hey, how much time we got before intermission? Hey, we're gonna go ahead and take intermission right now. This is Wartime Radio. This is WPJM 800.
Well, Jessica, the name of the event was "The Violence Must Stop," and that's exactly what they said. Some of them even chanted things like, "Some of us used to sell drugs, but no more." These streets were filled with people who were also taking pictures just to watch. Now, the group says that they traveled all the way here because they know that there has always been a problem with violence here in the city of Memphis. They wanted to focus and reach out to black men and minorities in particular to hear this message tonight.
Yeah, we bad. Prophets is back on the battlefield. Look at the swag. All of these heathens be mad at me. I'm ready to teach, but they talking too loud with the blasphemy. I never blaspheme, but my armor bearer gon' blaspheme. Yeah, we bad. Prophets is back on the battlefield. Look at the swag. All of these heathens be mad at me. I'm ready to teach, but they talking too loud with the blasphemy. I never blaspheme, but my armor bearer gon' blaspheme. Precept and line, I'm breaking it down like a syllable. Miracles, we do them time after time, proving that we are the spiritual. We be the pro, they the amateurs. Never surrender, we Spartacus. Warring from Purim to Hanukkah, cutting these heathen shoelaces and yarmulkes. Cut him up. Scuffles and muckers be running up, thinking that they gon' be sunning us. Never use guns, but we shut him up. Cut him up. Scuffles and muckers be running up. We be like, who the next runner up? We teaching the people, no stopping us. Yeah, we bad. Prophets is back on the battlefield. Look at the swag. All of these heathens be mad at me. I'm ready to teach, but they talking too loud with the blasphemy. I never blaspheme, but my armor bearer gon' blaspheme. Yeah, we bad. Prophets is back on the battlefield. Look at the swag. All of these heathens be mad at me. I'm ready to teach, but they talking too loud with the blasphemy. I never blaspheme, but my armor bearer gon' blaspheme.
Shut your mouth, don't you talk. I'ma teach, he gon' read. Bring it out, I'ma break it down to the T. It goes line upon line. I got precepts, what you need. If you scoff, you a simp. Cut you up, watch you dip. You want meat, not sip milk. You can't handle what we give. Man, your brain gon' overload if you can't handle laws we give. This what cut like a sword. All this truth, can't ignore. All these prophets sit around me, they would break you down with joy.
Yeah, we bad. Prophets is back on the battlefield. Look at the swag. All of these heathens be mad at me. I'm ready to teach, but they talking too loud with the blasphemy. I never blaspheme, but my armor bearer gon' blaspheme. Yeah, we bad. Prophets is back on the battlefield. Look at the swag. All of these heathens be mad at me. I'm ready to teach, but they talking too loud with the blasphemy. I never blaspheme, but my armor bearer gon' blaspheme.
Need a gurney and a body bag for him. Cut him up, session won't cease, causing these heathen to flee. You can tell by the hem of the T's, Messiah prophet on the scene. We seeking the kingdom to be, your kingdom will become debris. We coming with fire to burn up these liars. Give them the precept to Jeremiah. Acting like demons don't dwell inside you. Any of these prophets know what's required. Ready for wartime, steady be ready in no time. Bet you my brother gon' call sign. Getting these scoffles with clotheslines.
Yeah, we bad. Prophets is back on the battlefield. Look at the swag. All of these heathens be mad at me. I'm ready to teach, but they talking too loud with the blasphemy. I never blaspheme, but my armor bearer gon' blaspheme. Yeah, we bad. Prophets is back on the battlefield. Look at the swag. All of these heathens be mad at me. I'm ready to teach, but they talking too loud with the blasphemy. I never blaspheme, but my armor bearer gon' blaspheme.
I got a fully loaded armor bearer who gained his knowledge through the trial and error. Together we fought many wars. Scripture seeping through the pores of all of the prophets that's casting down doctrines and doing the work of the Lord. These demons won't stop us. Demons can't stop us when we all on one accord. Christ is king and we knowing that. Ain't no denying he coming back. Pull out the trumpet, we blowing that. We got the seed and we sowing that. I came up out of the world. Pray the Lord, I ain't going back. We was ordained to be prophets. That's how you know that we coming back.
Yeah, we bad. Prophets is back on the battlefield. Look at the swag. All of these heathens be mad at me. I'm ready to teach, but they talking too loud with the blasphemy. I never blaspheme, but my armor bearer gon' blaspheme. Yeah, we bad. Prophets is back on the battlefield. Look at the swag. All of these heathens be mad at me. I'm ready to teach, but they talking too loud with the blasphemy. I never blaspheme, but my armor bearer gon' blaspheme.
Hey, shalom, Most High in Christ bless. Hey, this is Officer Yuwanathon. Hey, that banging hit was by called War Vibes by Sons of God. You can get that original royalty. So go to originalroyalty.com and pick up that album.
Pick up all the albums, all the good righteous music on there. Pick it all up.
So hey, let's go back to Leviticus chapter 19, verse 27. I want to touch on something right quick. Because hey, when we hear this verse, we got to realize, hey, the Most High said the whole earth, the whole land is falling into wickedness. And we're going to bring out some stats on that. Read.
It's the book of Leviticus, chapter 19, verse 29. Do not prostitute thy daughter to cause her to be a whore.
Hey, and you know what? A lot of our women are doing that exact same thing. Our women are raising themselves as thoughts, and they raising up little bitty thoughts, dressed just like them, acting just like them. And you know what they're teaching them? They're teaching them to disrespect and hate the black man that gave them life. Read.
Lest the land fall to whoredom, and the land become full of wickedness.
The land become full of wickedness. You know what? We're going to touch on abortions. This is something that's major in the black family, major amongst the black women. Let's read on some stats on abortion. Read.
This article here is the policy report. The effects of abortion on the black community. We're going to jump to page 3. Page 3. It says, in the third paragraph. It says, the prevalence of abortion facilities within minority communities serves as a major contributor to the rate in which black women obtain abortions. Accordingly, black women are 5 times more likely to have an abortion than white women. A recent study released by Protecting Black Life and Outreach of Life Issues Institute concluded that 79% of Planned Parenthood's surgically aborted facilities are strategically located within walking distance of African and or Hispanic communities.
So you know what? They placed it just like you can walk to the store, you can walk to get your abortion.
Yeah, you can walk to the corner store.
Right.
You can turn around and walk to get an abortion.
Dang.
This study coincides with historical revelations that eugenists dating to the mid-1900s argued that the most effective way they could advance their agenda would be to concentrate population control facilities within targeted communities.
You hear that? Population control. It's the plan to kill the black man and woman. By what? Killing the child that's within you.
And that's murder.
Right. Read.
Historically, blacks have been the unwitting victims of a hidden racist agenda of those behind abortion and birth control organizations because of they believed they were receiving a new civil right, choice.
Hey, read that very first sentence.
Historically, blacks have been the unwitting victims of a hidden racist agenda.
Hidden racist agenda.
That's it.
It goes back to what? That crafty counsel that they took against our people. It's a hidden racist agenda.
Right.
Christianity is a racist agenda because it teaches you not to value life in the first place. Not to value life because when you don't keep God's laws, hey, that's death.
Teaches you can sleep person to person and still you're going to get the kingdom of heaven. Some way, somehow, you're going to get in anyway.
Right.
When we've been reading New Testament scripts that say that's not happening.
Right.
And you know what's the shame about abortions? If a man don't want to take care of a child, you know what? He gets locked up. If a woman don't want to take care of a child, she can go kill it. And and there's no crime. There's no time for that.
That's right. Hey, read that part that you just read again.
It says, historically, blacks have been the unwitting victims of a hidden racist agenda of those behind abortion and birth control organizations because they believed they were receiving a new civil right, choice.
See, this is how heavy this spirit is on our people, and one of the reasons why we fall victim to this thing. It says that we are victims. So in order for us to be a victim of it, that means somebody had to plan, plot, and put this thing together. That's why it's called Planned Parenthood when you abort children. Most High God told us not to commit these things anyway. Do not prostitute thy daughter to be whores because the land is going to fall to all whoredom. Now this article is saying we become victims of this thing. And since we've been here in America, we've learned these things, these habits, these attributes, this fornication, this sin from the hands of our oppressors. Our people glorify going to the strip club. Some sisters do it. They say, well, I'm just doing it to go to college, to pay for college. Or I only dress like this. You only dress a particular type of way when you're going out to the club on Fridays and Saturdays. These things right here is what lead our men into the fornication of sleeping with you sisters and lead yourself into being a simple-minded sister now single with a child that don't have a father.
There used to be a time where our people did dress modestly.
Right.
But then they start envying the oppressor.
Exactly.
And the Bible tells you what? Envy thou not the oppressor and choose none of their ways.
Right.
And you know what the first thing we wanted to do was put on pants.
Right.
Next thing we know we wanted to do was put on leggings.
Right.
Now,
and that's underwear.
Right. They start wearing that underwear, outerwear. And now, guess what we're doing now? Now we're taking off the underwear.
Right.
So what's next?
They like the sister said yesterday, they ain't wearing nothing
ain't
now.
wearing nothing.
They ain't wearing nothing.
That's what
right.
You didn't finish that though, did you? Or did you? Was you finished with it?
Article.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, I didn't finish the last part of it. Hold on.
That's the last part because I want to get this stat.
It says the last verse. The last paragraph says, historically, blacks have been the unwitting victims of a hidden racist agenda of those behind abortion and birth control organizations because they believed they were receiving a new civil right choice.
They were taught or tricked, beguiled into thinking that they would receive. Our sisters believe it's a civil right to commit murder.
Free choice.
A civil right to commit murder.
And they've been doing it. Hey, they committing more genocide on our people than the white men did.
Yeah, what's the number of abortions?
We got 19 million since 1973
to now, right?
19 million black, Hispanic, and baby boys. Or is that just black?
That's just black.
That's just black. That's just black. 19 million black babies aborted since 1973.
You read the first paragraph real quick, yo.
Read that.
It says, disproportionately, the leading consumer of abortionist services is the African-American female. According to the 2011 abortion surveillance report issued by the Center of Disease Control, black women make up 14% of the childbearing population.
Wait, so listen to that. You got to remember that number. We only make up 14%. So out of 100, blacks are only 14% of the pregnancies. Read on.
Yet obtained 36.2% of reported abortions.
So they take up 1/3 of all the abortions, though. That's just been reported. So they letting you know there's been way more.
Way more. And granted, that's just blacks. Remember, this truth in this Bible is written to you so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans.
Right.
So
you are the Israelites.
So you telling me, hey, that we Israelites have to stand up for those babies that can't speak for themselves.
That's what we're doing now.
That's what we're doing right now. Bringing our people back to the remembrance of God's laws that, hey, that life that you have is given to you by the Most High God, and you are taking his child.
Right. You know how many young prophets that you aborted? Millions of young prophets that could have probably come to this earth and done good for their people have now been aborted by the black woman.
Right.
But see, that maybe we're the only ones that can see that. Maybe we're the only ones that can fathom that as a thought, that you just help destroy our race and put the people who've been oppressing us back into more power by killing off our sons. Those are our sons too.
You got some more on that?
It says black women have the highest abortion ratio in the country with 474 abortions per 1,000 live births.
So 474 out of 1,000 black women have aborted their child.
Damn.
Percentages at these levels illustrate that more than 19 million black babies have been aborted since 1973.
That's just black people.
Wow.
Dang. Wow. Hey, let's get up. And this is what happens. That's the results of fornication.
That's the result of
But
fornication.
like it said, that the whole land will fall into whoredom. Then our people will turn around and say that I can go into church and God's going to forgive me. We're going to read it. God actually had it written for. Let's get Ezekiel chapter 23 and verse 37. And we'll read down to 39. Ezekiel 23 and 37. Let's see if that's written in the Bible.
It's the book of Ezekiel, chapter 23, verse 37.
Uh-huh.
That they have committed adultery.
Read.
And blood is in their hands. And with their idols have they committed adultery.
Read.
And have also caused their sons, whom they bear unto me, to pass for them through the fire to devour them.
So after they commit the adultery or fornication, then they take the son that comes from that and kill him, pass him through the fire. That's abortion. But read on.
Moreover, this they have done unto me.
So you think that don't know that you just doing that and you're gonna be that it's all good. No, God says you did it to him because you did it to your son. Read on.
They have defiled my sanctuary in the same day, and have profaned my Sabbaths.
Read. And how did they defile the sanctuary? Read.
For when they had slain their children to their idols.
So after you have killed them in abortion, read.
Then they came the same day into my sanctuary to profane it.
Then you go to church on Sunday, cause that's the day that you're going. You're supposed to be there on the Sabbath day, but you ain't supposed to commit murder. But y'all will turn around and go into the church on Sunday and act like all is good.
And that idol is white Jesus.
And then that idol is your Caesar Borgia.
Hey, what's really crazy is now this how spiritual this is. That was 36 through 39.
Yes, sir. Let me finish that last piece.
Yeah, finish that.
Then they came the same day into my sanctuary to profane it. And lo, thus have they done in the midst of mine house.
You did that in the house of the Lord.
Right.
But you think you all good.
Now, what I was saying, what's so crazy is in this history, this is how spiritual it is. In this history, this is the history of a hola and a hola.
Right.
The Bible calls you a hoe. A hola and a hola, northern and southern kingdom.
Right.
Stop being a hose.
Right. Hey, hey, let's get Matthew 5:27. Hey, let's get to Christ, because, they still want to proclaim that, hey, you know what? Christ did away with all of them laws y'all talking. So, you know what? We can do what we want to do. Let's see if Christ did away with the laws.
It's the book of Matthew, chapter 5, verse 27. Ye have heard that it was said by them of old time, thou shalt not commit adultery. But I say unto you, that whosoever looketh on a woman to lust after her, hath committed adultery with her already in his heart.
So Christ made it harder. Because before, adultery was you committing the act. Now Christ said, if you just look on her and start thinking about it, you start plotting. You know how we do. Hey, we'll start sitting there scheming and plotting on how we're going to get in the draws. Now
exactly how it is.
Now he said, you committed adultery already.
Already.
Read it from the top again. I love that beautiful music.
The book of Matthew, chapter 5, verse 27. Ye have heard that it was said by them of old time, thou shalt not commit adultery. But I say unto you, that whosoever looketh on a woman to lust after her, hath committed adultery with her in his heart already.
But God know your heart. He said you committed adultery, fornication.
He know your heart and he's going to judge it. He knows the heart and is going to judge that heart.
Right. Hey, this book is so real. This book is breaking down what we as a people are going through.
Right.
So we supposed to look and examine ourselves to make sure that, you know what, are we walking in the faith or are we following man? We supposed to examine that.
Exactly.
Give me that in Galatians 13:5. We supposed to be examining ourselves to see if we walking in righteousness. And guess what? If we find out anything, we walking following the devil. We are straight up following the devil and his all his ways. And if you don't believe it, ask 19 million babies. And they're going to say, my mama was the devil that the Bible speak of.
Sorry. Them 19 million babies can't speak. We got to speak for them.
Yeah, we got to speak for them. Read that.
The book of 2 Corinthians, chapter 13, verse 5. Examine yourselves, whether ye be in the faith.
Do what? Read that again from the top.
Examine yourselves.
You know how you examine yourself? You got to go in these scriptures and start reading. You got to start asking yourself, are you following and doing and obeying what God commanded? Are you walking in the spirit? You know how they always say, brother, you ain't got the spirit. Well, you got to find out if you walking in the spirit. Because of the ways that we going right now, we don't know God. How can a people that's committing adultery, fornication, at the levels that we are doing be following Christ? There's no way possible. Because you know why? He said, fornicators and adulterers will not get into the kingdom of heaven. Look, this show is so far, we're going to have to make a part 2. So, with that, we're going to close out the show and say, hey, this has been Wartime Radio with Officer
Kalaya,
and Officer Aton.
Hey, it's Officer Jonathan. We'll see you next week with part 2.
Yeah.
Thank you for tuning in to Wartime Radio Show. Follow us on all social media platforms at IUIC, Columbia, South Carolina. Join our congregation every Saturday at 4 p.m. located at 1823 Gregg Street, Columbia, South Carolina. For more information, call us at 803-708-4861 at extension 237. Share our show with your friends and family. And thank you again for tuning in to Wartime Radio Show.
We used to scream black power while heroin was pushed. But at the end of the day, nothing's in vain. IUIC has been given a vision. The tents of Judah has risen. Many has attempted the mission. Minor murmuring, omitting, and missing the mark. Just reading that he had the flame of fire in his eyes gave us the spark. We on Paul's mission. We out on the road, purple and gold. From Mexico, Cuba, Haiti, Ghana, Sierra Leone. 144,000 boots banging, concrete crackling. These are our men repented at heart. The scriptures is proof. IUIC, we deliver the truth.